Let's go. Streaming data free on the MTN network in South Africa.
This is Omnisport.
T's and C's apply.
And I love that club. You know, I'm not that kind of guy that forgot the past. When I'm back there, I was very happy. I was one of the best scorers. I did unbelievable things with the club. My first season with 37, I was the third best scorer of the league. I scored all the group stage. I scored every game. Even in the league, I scored 17 goals or 18 goals. I did amazing. But as I told you, Manchester, they need to rebuild everything, in my opinion. The coach, they say they cannot compete to win the league and Champions League. You cannot say, if you are a Manchester United coach, you cannot say that you're not going to fight to win the league or Champions League. You have to be mentally say, listen, maybe we don't have that potential, but I cannot say that.
We're going to try.
We're going to try. You have to try. This is why I say, but this club needs time to rebuild because it's still one of the best clubs in the world, but they need to change. And they understand that it's the only way. And this is why you show that they start to change again the structure of the club, the president, the infrastructures and everything, the owners of the club.
Those are the words of Kevin McCullum's favourite footballer, Cristiano Ronaldo. He recently sat down with Rio Ferdinand on his podcast and he, listen, no holds barred. He had a full go at his time, his second time round at Manchester United and Erik ten Hag and everything that's going on there. Ronaldo does not hold back. You can go and watch that, of course, on Rio Ferdinand's podcast. Not sure what it's called, though.
Yeah, the great thing is that he's actually had experience of Ten Hag, so he, he knows what is actually going on the ground. I'd love to get Benny McCarthy on one day to get his opinion on Ten Hag. I mean, that'd be great because he doesn't hold back either.
No, Benny's in the 18 area, if you remember. Erik ten Hag, though, listen, we've seen Erik ten Hag doesn't muck about either. He's no fool. Mamad and Ray's no fool, as they say. Ten Hag at his press conference responded to Ronaldo's words on Rio's podcast by saying the following.
No, he said this. Have you read the article very well? So he's far away from Saudi, or far away from Manchester. So everyone can is entitled to have an opinion. It's okay. We will see where we are in May next year. It's very early in the season, and it's about winning trophies, be as high as possible, of course, in the league. Do everything to win every game, and then we will see in May where we are, and then judge.
Yeah, Erik says, hey, Ronaldo, you need to relax. You're not around here. And also, judge me in May. It's all about results. And I think Erik ten Hag's big thing, and this is where I think people are split, is he has won 2 FA Cups in his first 2 seasons. So whether you like him or not, obviously the league is how you judge the team. But he has won silverware, which United haven't been doing consistently. So it's like, maybe people don't like the style. It's kind of like Hugo Broos for South Africa. People don't like the style, but I don't know, Kev, what do you do? The guy's winning silverware.
Yeah, he's dull. And I do think that he's being judged on some of the really bad buys that they've made. And some of them aren't his fault. Harry Maguire wasn't his fault. Anthony is, though. Let's hope he can get his magic together. I mean, he needs Luke Shaw back. He actually needs a solid player to actually come in and just like stabilize that really wonky defense. I mean, you saw how bad they were against Liverpool.
God, they were dreadful. It's a tricky one because how do you move on as Manchester United if you do fire him? Let's say, because I'm hearing a lot of split sort of opinions, is he's got players from I think Michel was the last player from the Van Gaal era outside of Rashford, right? He's got players from the Van Gaal era. He's got Merino's players. He's got Ollie's players. Like, at some stage, you've got to bring the guillotine down and just allow the guy to build it in his own image. Do you remember how ugly it was at Arsenal when Arteta had to get rid of Ozil and Kolasinac, and then Arsenal were willing to pay these guys off and just like let them go? Now every player in that Arsenal team is Arteta's guy. He's now truly built. So if you start again, then the next manager is going to have 5 managers, players.
Yeah.
All from different philosophies, different style of players. So who knows what people are thinking there. The United manager also addressed how the players themselves are feeling about the poor start this season and the current transition at Manchester United in terms of the club philosophy.
Of course, when you see the scores, no one is happy. But also players have a very good sense of the process, of the quality of the process. Yeah, and I agree with him. We are, and also when you analyze the games, all the games so far, we are in a good direction. But also, but it's normal in the transition period and in the period where you have to build a team, we have to improve, we have to step up.
There it is. That's Erik ten Hag saying they've got to step up. All right. Rasmus Hojlund and Luke Shaw have been missing for big games this season. Luke Shaw feels like he's been missing forever, but he can play for England. Trust me, he'll be fit for them. They're having won 2 and drawn 1. So this season's been unbelievably shocking. Marquee signing Manuel Ugarte has also been missing. Ten Hag gave an update on these players against Southampton.
Rasmus Hojlund and Luke Shaw, they are progressing very well, but not ready for this game. Manuel Ugarte, I think we all have seen. He played for Uruguay. He returned this afternoon. Was the only player who returned today. All the other players returned yesterday. Yeah, so he is available for this game.
United can't lose.
No, they can't. I mean, if they do lose against Southampton, there will be not just questions asked and fingers pointed, but there will be a serious undermining of his confidence and of his standing in the club. He's desperate for Ugarte to come and start. Although the guy's been away. He's been travelling almost for 10 days. He did play a full 90 against Venezuela, though, for Uruguay. Maybe he's the man to turn it around. Maybe he's their Luis Suarez.
07 88 77 7716. Your thoughts on Manchester United, their fate, Erik ten Hag. What happens if you're a Manchester United fan? We'd love to hear from you. What happens if you don't win? Would a draw be good enough? What happens if you lose and it's in the last minute? Southampton have the day of their lives and it's sort of a smash and grab. What do you do then? Are you happy as Man United fans? A club that doesn't have to worry about that is Brighton. Brighton have been one of the outstanding teams this season, having won 2 and drawn 1 of their first 3 games so far this season before the international break. Despite the good start, though, Wunderkind manager Fabian Hurzeler isn't taking his foot off the gas.
To reflect yourself, to reflect what was going good so far, where we can improve. That was the first thing what I did, and the second thing is also like to plan the next phase, the next week, because now we have a lot of games in the next period of time. We have a lot of home games, and therefore we want to use this chance. So for me, it was more like a reflection and a planning, and of course I also had like 1 or 2 minutes for myself.
I love him. I love him to bits.
He's great. He fits them. They're fun. They're now starting to compound on sort of 7 or 8 years of building well. They're now starting to add the chandeliers to a solid foundation. So Brighton started off well. That's the manager. We love him. Let's move over to North London. London. It's a North London derby. Arsenal in big trouble, some say. Arsenal also say we're playing Spurs. We'll be fine. But Declan Rice, Michel Merino, Martin Odegaard, and possibly Riccardo Calafori may be injured as well, because he came off in the Italy game in the international. So that's 4 really, really important players will be missing for Arsenal. Jorginho and Havertz may have to cover in midfield. That could be a problem.
Yeah, they're hoping that Jesus comes through and he's got a bit of a niggle, and they're hoping him to start with him. But they've also got the added confidence boost of the fact that Arteta signed that 3-year deal. Apparently, it's been ongoing for a while, the negotiations, but the last month they stopped talking about it until they got the transfer situation sorted out. Yeah, I think Arsenal will be pretty special against Spurs. Although Spurs now are putting some money into their youth. They're putting the money where the mouth is and said, let's see what the kids can do.
Look, with Big Ange, right? You can't be this sort of combative and not start to deliver. At some stage, I think we saw it with Juan de Ramos, I don't know if you remember, and Martin Jol. So when I was at Tottenham in the academy, Martin Jol was there, and Martin Jol was extremely confrontational with the media. And obviously that first season they came 4th. It was amazing, but then the second season, it didn't go so well. So with Big Ange, he's got to be careful. Is you can talk big, you can be this sort of philosophical guy and be on the front foot, but you've got to start delivering results. And a lot of Arsenal fans are saying, what are you talking about? We are not going to lose to these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking down at a list of how long managers have been in charge. Obviously, top is Pep with 8 years, 73 days. Thomas Frank at Brentford, 5 years and 332 days. And then Arteta is 4 years, 265 days. And he's built And you keep on going down the list. Where's Big Ange? 1 year and 73 days. And has he started building? Can you see a base forming?
That's a good question. I think that's a very, very, very good point. 07 88 77 7716. Where are Spurs right now? Are they just Spursing it? Or are they actually going to start delivering? 195 games in the history of this game. First game in the Football League was in 1909. 82 wins for Arsenal, 61 for Tottenham, and 52 games have ended up as a draw. Top scorer in this fixture, Kev McCullum off air was saying something absolutely hysterical about Harry Kane.
I said that Harry Kane's finally won something. He's the top goal scorer in this fixture with 14 goals. Admittedly, 7 of them are from the penalty spot.
Bobby Smith and Emmanuel Adebayor have 10 goals each. Emmanuel Adebayor, of course, we remember when he scored for Man City, ran across the whole pitch and trolled Arsenal. That was absolutely hysterical. Spurs have their own problems in midfield, though. Rodrigo Bentancur has been charged by the FA over a racist joke about teammate Son Heung-min. Son has crushed the matter in the media, and he said, look, he made a bad joke. So what happened was Bentancur was handed a shirt, or he was asked, of the Spurs shirts, who would you want? And he said, I would like Sonny's one. And he said, even if it was Sonny's cousin, they all look the same. And it was like, oh, yeah. No, you can't do that.
I mean, can you imagine if you said that about a black player? It would have been through the roof.
Listen, Rodrigo, what is with these South American guys and sticking their foot into this stuff? Guys, just come and play football. No matter what your thoughts are, leave those at home. Like if you have those thoughts, you're getting paid millions of pounds a month to play football. Why can you not just understand that just because in South America you guys got whatever you got cooking down there on the racial front, you can't bring that. Literally, there's a saying, when in Rome, Rome's in Europe, when you're here, behave like the Europeans. You can't do this. Why? What is it with these Uruguayan guys? I mean, your old mucker, Luis Suarez back in the day. Anyway, so Spurs have their own problems. They've also got a problem with their record signing, Dom Solanke. They need him back because they need the firepower. Charleston may be back, but he'll only be fit enough to come off the bench this weekend. All right, it's a full slate of Premier League games this weekend. Southampton United will kick off the weekend. Brighton, Ipswich will follow them. Crystal Palace, Leicester, Fulham, West Ham, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest, Man City, Brentford, Aston Villa, Everton, and Bournemouth, Chelsea. That'll be your Saturday fixtures. And on Sunday, it'll be 3 o'clock in South Africa, Central African time. Tottenham will take on Arsenal, and Wolves will face Newcastle in your Premier League games for the weekend. We're going to bring it back to the Betway PSL, Betway Premiership, of course, in South Africa. On the other side, we've got award-winning journalist Lawrence Kola. He'll be joining us to talk Bafana, PSL, and much, much more local football.
Let's go. Streaming data free on the MTM network in South Africa.
This is Omnisport.
T's and C's apply.